Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Life and Style Ish. I was looking for project ideas, so I went to my basement because I remembered there was a storage cabinet left there by the previous owners. Here in my garage, you can see it under better lighting, and you can see that there is some water damage to it. You see the back, there's some water stains. The top, you can tell it's taken in some water, so it's kind of falling apart there. And then on the side as well, see there's some damage. But I feel like I can repurpose this into a cabinet for my necklaces for my jewelry store. First thing I do is remove the cabinet door so I can clean the door itself as well as access the inside of the cabinet. Unfortunately, this is the only piece that comes open, that opens at all. The other two side pieces, and you'll see when I take the door down, yeah, these two pieces here do not open at all. So it's pretty hard to get into. I'm not sure what the purpose of the doors not opening, especially when there is hardware on the front. So yeah, but anyway, I go ahead and take off. The next step is going ahead and taking off the backing of the storage cabinet. So here I'm just doing the last of the cleaning. I got some Lysol spray and I just sprayed all over and just used some paper towels to clean the inside and the outside. And I'm just getting the rest of that now. All right, once I get everything cleaned and sanitized, I actually like the way it looks this way instead of towards the front. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use it this way. My mom actually suggested when she saw the cabinet and I was kind of struggling with what actually to do with it. She was like, well, why don't you just turn it around and do it this way? And when I took the back off, the backing piece off and turned it around like this and cleaned it out, I was like, oh, I actually like it this way. So it was actually a great idea. So shout out to my mom for that. And yeah, so right here, I'm just taking out the rest of the staples that didn't come out when I pulled out that support piece. Give you a status update on what is happening. So these are all my dirty little paper towels. This thing was filthy. So I used some of this Lysol all-purpose cleaner and just got to work, and that's all I needed to do. So just had some gloves and I had to use this to get those staples out. So this is it so far. I'm gonna let it dry. It's still a little wet because I used a lot of Lysol spray, a lot. Once the front door is cleaned, I go ahead and replace the hardware so that I can put it back, put the cabinet back. I'm not going to glue the door back on or seal it or anything. There's a little magnet closure for the door, and you don't even notice it from this side of the cabinet. So I said, down the road, I may want to change it back and have it, a front facing cabinet down the road. So I was like, well, let me not make too many permanent changes. As far as, like I said, I'm just cleaning and later on I'm going to be painting, but I wanted to at least maintain as much of the cabinet as possible. So after getting the door back on and in place, I go ahead and grab my Krylon Color Max paint and primer, and it's a satin ivory. So it's just a little off-white color, kind of a cream color, and yeah, that's what I decided to use for the cabinet. And this is after the first coat is done, and I'm just going over it again with the second coat. And it's not great coverage, unfortunately. And I don't think it's the spray paint. I think it's a combination of it was kind of a windy day and the material of the wood itself. I don't think this cabinet is made for, was meant for spray paint. I think either a good, probably a latex paint would have worked better in this situation, but I just kind of went with what I had. So I'm just finishing out the second coat here. Hey guys, so it's the next morning and I'm gonna show you what the shelf looks like, but I think you saw me kind of struggling with the paint. It was a struggle, so I don't know if I should have used a different kind of paint on it. I'm gonna see, but let me show you what the results of the spray paint the next morning. So as you can see, I decided not to put paint on the back side of it, and it's a good thing because the two cans took up the entire other side, and I didn't even get to finish the top either. But yeah, so this is the one side here. And as you can see, let me get a little closer. You can see this. Let me focus. All right, here we go. There was some bubbling here along here, and I'm not sure what this material is. I thought it was like some sort of pressed wood. I'm still not sure. But yeah, it kept getting soaked into these little grooves here and just never created a surface where it would be completely flat. Oh, a little bug there. And I got a couple of those because I finished when it was pretty dark outside. And well, I was letting it dry outside, and yeah, so got a few bugs stuck to it. But yeah, this bubbling is all along the side here. You can see it there. So yeah, and this is another thing here. When I was cleaning it, or maybe when it was sitting out in the rain for a little while, it absorbed water. So it started doing this too, kind of the buckling with the paint. So on this side, I painted this and this, but as you can see, it doesn't look like I painted anything. It just kept soaking up the paint. Every time I paint it, it just soaked it up like a sponge. So the cabinet is a little oddly shaped. It has those three little 3 points there. So I just cut out a rectangular piece of paper, of the decorative paper that I have, and I've used this for other projects around my house as well. I love that it's double-sided, so it gives me different options. And so yeah, I'm just fitting it and just using my finger really to kind of score the edge where I'm gonna need to cut it. And so just around the sides there, and then or the front, those little pieces there, and then the diagonal pieces, I guess. And then the side pieces. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold it down across the front. So luckily the issue that I had with the paint not really adhering to the shelf, the sides, it's not really going to be an issue because I'm going to go ahead and just have the paper going all the way down, and then I'm going to use some adhesive, and that's what I'm doing here. I just have some craft glue and a glue stick, and what I'm doing here is just covering the paper as much as I can. I'm doing the edge first, and then I'm going to go back and go all the way across and just until the paper is completely covered. Next, I grab some regular school glue and I just pour a little bit on the top, and then I use this paintbrush to spread it across. So that way it will give me good coverage. I wanted to put some adhesive on the paper as well as on the cabinet itself to help it to stick down. So I'm just going ahead and fitting it on, and just making sure that all the air bubbles are gone, that it's smooths out as much as possible. Luckily, with the pattern of the paper, it's very forgiving. So there are a few wrinkles and buckles because the surface obviously is not completely flat, and then the glue kind of made the paper wrinkle a bit as well. But luckily, you don't even notice it, and I don't even notice it either until like I run my hand across it and I can kind of feel it. But otherwise, yeah, this gave really good coverage, and so I'm just using this other can of spray paint to kind of flatten it out a little bit and get all the air bubbles out that I either can't see or I just don't have any way to get them out. So I'm just kind of rolling it across just to get all those out, and it really worked really well. Here I'm just repeating the same process but for the bottom cabinet. And I'm just going to, I did use a little bit of water just to help with spreading out the paper. That's all right. So finished the paper and just letting the glue under the paper dry. So what I'm going to be working on now is a way for the necklaces to hang. So this is what I have so far. All right, so paper is down. It's taped underneath the bottom. You can see a little bit of tape there, but it's clear tape. I don't really care about that. So yeah, it's just drying. I'm just letting the glue underneath dry right now. And I have these C-hooks that I'm going to be using to hang the necklaces from. But I need something to actually attach to hold these because there's no screw. This doesn't have a screw to it. It's got a hook on the back. I'm going to be using my Power Shot stapler, and I just got one in and it works really, really well. So I'm just going to continue doing that. All right, so I've done the first 5 here. You can see it across. And I'm going to do 4 more underneath here. And here's the final look. It's a bit rustic due to the age of the piece as well as the water damage. Overall, I think it came out well. I only have 9 necklaces displayed because I only had 9 hooks to work with. Down the road, I can see adding lights or maybe mirrors or other accents. Anyway, guys, I think that's the end of the video. Be sure to check out my online jewelry store, Duo Cone Jewelry Company. The link's in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.